drink. So while we are setting up and getting everything ready, we will need some tools, or the tools that you will need for today's cocktail class would be a white rum. I'm gonna use Bacardi. If you have any other white rum, you can definitely use that. You're gonna use fresh lime juice, so you will need 1 to 2 limes, depending on what you're making. I'll be making 2 cocktails today because I have a friend over that's helping me with a cocktail class. You need a shaker tin or whatever other tool that you might wanna shake with, whether it be a protein shaker, jar with a lid, whatever you have. Simple syrup, kind of sugar, whatever you wanna make. If you have just whatever sugar, and then melt it, get the simple syrup, put it in the microwave, whatever you want to do. Also, if you want to measure it, we'll need a jigger, citrus press, a strainer, because we want to get a coupe glass to strain the daiquiri in, and a knife. So then always you can blend this if you want. You might want to add a little bit more sugar, or use a little bit more limes, because sometimes when you blend it and the ice gets that diluted, when you blend it, you lose some of the flavor. So I would add a little bit more limes and sugar if I was gonna blend it. But then, like how all of the flavored daiquiris are super popular, you could do strawberry daiquiri, passion fruit daiquiri, mango daiquiri, whatever you want to add, you just throw that shit in with lime and sugar and the rum, and you got yourself a flavored daiquiri. So if you're just joining though, my name's Molly. I am your resident TikTok bartender, and I post all content about people that helping you out learning to bartend, learning how to make cocktails. Whatever questions you have, I'm always happy to answer. Now I've worked in bartending, I've bartended in restaurants for almost 10 years now, and I've been in the restaurant industry since I was 18, so kind of almost 20 years at this point. But now, about a year ago during the pandemic, I split off. I have my own business now, so I do event bartending. So I have my own business, bartending at events, and now I kind of contract out other people to work events as well. I contract out other people to work events now as well, and my business is growing, which is cool. And then I also work for an event space here in San Diego. I run their beverage program, and they actually asked me to start running their TikTok. So I will be starting to run the Vasa TikTok and making fun videos for the event space in San Diego, which is pretty cool. And I've made videos before, but I'll show you later. Anyway, let's get to it. It is 5:04, which means cocktail class is officially ready to go. So a little bit of history too, if anybody is still getting their supplies together or making their simple syrup. We will start off with the history of the daiquiri. So it sounds like this would come from, you know, Jamaica or a different island, but actually the daiquiri originated in Cuba. So there were a lot of mining fields in Cuba back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And tobacco and sugarcane were some of the easiest things to grow there. And then obviously they also made a lot of rum and gin with the sugarcane that they grew from Cuba. So what happened was the main guy who is really credited with inventing the daiquiri is Jennings Cox. I had it written down. Jennings Cox, he was an iron miner. And he actually has written notes in his diary of the daiquiri, which is why he's credited with one of the original daiquiri recipes. So the rumor is that he was entertaining guests at his house, and he was making cocktails with gin, and party foul ran out of gin, went to the store, got the quick, easiest, cheapest thing he could get, which was rum at the time. And then he went back home, and originally he actually mixed it with some lemon juice, sugar, and club soda or mineral water, which technically now would be closer to a sour, but then the recipe adapted, making it into the daiquiri that it is. Fast forward a couple years, it was pretty much only served in Cuba, so it was a really popular cocktail. And then in the 1920s and 30s, that's when like kind of the slushy ice and blenders were invented. And that's when daiquiri started becoming blended. And obviously it's super hot in Cuba. That's when that whole trend became. And then Ernest Hemingway visited Cuba. Ernest Hemingway fell in love with the daiquiri. Ernest Hemingway also kind of created his own recipe called the Hemingway Daiquiri, which is made with maraschino liqueur and grapefruit juice. That's another story for another day. But then eventually the daiquiri went back to its roots with lime juice, rum, and sugar. And that's basically it. So this recipe is super simple. And I actually like to kind of impress people with this recipe because they never, When you think of a daiquiri, you think of this big sugary blended drink, but when you actually have a really nice fresh daiquiri, it's quite lovely, if I do say so myself. So let's get going. We're gonna grab our shaker tin. So like I've said it before and I'll say it again. Out of the 2 shaker tins, you always wanna go with the smaller shaker tin because you wanna pour small to large, not large to small, or you'll spill everywhere, right? So get your small shaker tin and we'll add ice, okay? If you want it to get more cold, fill up the whole shaker tin with ice, because the more ice you have, the harder you shake, the colder it will get. And that's what we want. We want a nice frosty cocktail, okay? We have our shaker tin with ice. We grab our rum, okay? For those just joining, we are starting our daiquiri. Okay, we got our jigger. Oh, I feel like I need to back this camera up just a hair. Okay, might be a little better. Let me do this. Easier to see. Okay, easier to see. All right, so we have our shaker tin with ice. We're gonna take our rum and do 2 ounces of that. So this big jigger, fill it all the way to the top. Don't leave any room. You do want it to be like right up on the meniscus. I'm gonna spill it if I show you, but I'm gonna show you anyway. So see how it's all the way to the top? That means it's a full 2 ounces. You don't want to fill it up to there. That's not the recipe. If you fill it up to there and you see that line, that's 1.5 ounces, okay? You don't want 1.5 ounces. You want full 2 ounces, okay? I spilled some anyway. So now I'm actually making 2 daiquiris, so I'm gonna pour this twice. So in my cocktail, we're gonna have 4 ounces, okay? 4 ounces of rum, white rum. You can use other rums too, but Bacardi is cheap and it's good. Bueno y barato, so I like it. Okay, next we're gonna take a lime. Since about a half a lime is a 1/2 ounce, you probably only need 1 lime in your cocktail for the daiquiri if you're making 1. I am making 2, so I will put 2 limes in my daiquiri. Okay. I always use a citrus press because I'm lazy and I don't like to squeeze my own citrus, and it messes with my hands. So we'll get, if you're measuring it out, it should be about 1 ounce of lime juice. Hope I didn't say lemon before, I meant lime. Although that was a good amount of lime, okay. That lime was pretty juicy, so I may only need 1. Yeah. Okay. So far then our recipe, I'm gonna use this as a garnish because I don't think I'll need it anymore. So I'm gonna cut 2 lime wheels. Okay, so I've made a garnish to it, and you can do this if you want. I've cut a lime wheel and then put a little slit so it'll stick on the glass. Okay, so for 1 cocktail, if you're just joining in, we'll need 2 ounces of rum, 1 ounce of lime juice, and then we'll do 3/4 ounce of our simple syrup. Now, I don't like my cocktails as sweet. I like them a little bit more potent, a little bit more citrusy. So if you also like it that way, make it how I'm making it. If you want to bump it up a little, then you can do 1.5 ounces of lime juice and 1 ounce of simple syrup. And that'll be a better balance and maybe a little less strong, but I like to drink, so. Okay, so then we have 2 ounces of, or we need like 3/4, so 1.5 ounces of our simple syrup. And we can taste test it too. You can always taste test as you go. That's kind of the beauty of it. All right, ready? So we're gonna pour small into big. Make sure when you put the shaker tin on, we're gonna lock it, okay? You wanna pump it in so that it locks and you don't spill everywhere, because if you don't seal it properly, then it's gonna hit you in the face, okay? And let's shake. I don't wanna see any wimpy shakes. Give it a good shake. Everybody get a good shake in there? Alrighty. Make sure you get all of the alcohol out of the thing. Okay. My tip too, when you have a shaker tin, thank you. My tip too, when you get your lid stuck on here, okay? Wherever this flat part is on your shaker tin, put pressure on it with your thumb. Okay, hold it down here. and then like a 45-degree angle right on the side of it, you'll have this little opening. Pressure, hit it, it'll pop off every time, okay? So put pressure there with your thumb, hit it hard. You'll hear the pop. That's what you want, okay? When you see these like rookie bartenders like, or hitting the walls, I'm like, I hit them in the head like, hello, McFly. Just kidding. Okay. I have 2 coupe glasses here. I'm gonna strain them both into the cocktail glass. Gonna add our garnish. I'm going with gold because I'm fancy. Cheers. It's really good.